My name is Claire Bennett. I'm 41 years old, a single mom of one incredible daughter, and I live in a cozy suburban neighborhood just outside of Denver. Life had settled into a quiet rhythm after my divorce 3 years ago. I wasn't actively looking for love, nor did I expect anything particularly exciting to happen in my daily life. I worked remotely as a freelance designer, cooked dinner by 6, and often found myself spending evenings curled up with a book or a movie. Then one rainy Tuesday afternoon, my life began to take a turn I never saw coming. I had ordered some groceries from a new local delivery service. My fridge was nearly empty, and I had been swamped with back-to-back client deadlines. I barely had time to get out of my pajamas, let alone go shopping. I placed the order and figured it would be dropped off like usual. Bags on the porch, a quick notification, and that's it. But this time the doorbell rang. I opened the door to find a young man standing there with a box of paper bags in his arms, drenched from the rain but smiling politely. "Hi, ma'am. Claire Bennett?" he asked. "Yes, that's me," I said, quickly stepping aside to let him in out of the rain. "Thanks. I didn't want to just leave these out." "It's pouring out there," he said as he brought the bags into my kitchen. His name was Ethan Miller, and he was 20 years old. He had a youthful face, damp brown curls, and the kind of polite manners you don't often see in someone his age. Something about him struck me. Maybe it was how comfortable he seemed in the silence, or the way he took the time to arrange the bags neatly on my counter without being asked. "You really didn't have to come in," I said, handing him a small towel to dry his hands. "I don't mind. Actually, it's kind of nice to see a real kitchen for once. Most people barely open the door," he said with a small laugh. Smiled. "Well, this one's used a lot. Maybe too much." He glanced around and noticed my daughter's artwork taped to the fridge, the pile of cookbooks on the table, and the half-finished jigsaw puzzle I'd been working on during quiet nights. "Looks like a real home." That small comment stuck with me after he left. Over the next few weeks, I started noticing that Ethan seemed to be the one assigned to most of my deliveries. Whether it was groceries, takeout, or the occasional household supply, it was always him. At first, I thought it was coincidence. Then I wondered if maybe he was making sure it happened. Either way, I didn't mind. We started talking more. Little conversations by the doorway turned into full chats over coffee. I learned he was putting himself through community college, studying business and trying to save enough to transfer to a university. He had lost his mom young and was raised by his grandmother, whom he still helped care for. There was something refreshing about Ethan. He didn't carry the weight of the world on his shoulders like most people did. He was kind, open, and genuine. Being around him reminded me of what it felt like to be seen, not just as a mother or an ex-wife, but as a woman. One day he brought my groceries again, and we ended up sitting on my porch for over an hour talking about dreams. He confessed that he wasn't even sure what he wanted to do yet, just that he wanted to create something meaningful. "I don't think people our age get to talk about dreams," I told him. "You're not that old," he said, grinning. "Besides, you've probably lived more life than anyone I know. You seem like you've figured things out." I laughed. "You'd be surprised. Most days, I'm just trying to make sure dinner's not burnt and the bills are paid." That afternoon, something shifted between us. There was a quiet understanding, an unspoken bond that didn't need defining. I told myself it was just a friendship, that I was just being silly, and he was too young to see me that way. But then came the weekend of the storm. A massive snowstorm had swept through Denver. Roads were closed, power flickered in and out, and I found myself stuck inside with my daughter at a friend's sleepover and no electricity. I had a fireplace and some emergency supplies, but no heat, no light, and no way to cook. Just after 8 p.m. there was a knock at the door. It was Ethan. "I was worried about you," he said. "I figured you might need something. I brought food and a portable heater." "You walked here?" I asked, stunned. "Just a few blocks. My car's stuck, but I live close by." That night, we lit candles, heated soup over the fireplace, and huddled under blankets with layers of sweaters. I offered him the couch, but we stayed up late talking about everything. He told me about his mother, how he'd grown up fast, how sometimes he felt like he didn't belong anywhere. I told him about my divorce, the way it had chipped away at my self-worth, how long it had taken me to feel like a whole person again. In that moment, we weren't 20 and 41. We were just two people, two souls, who had collided by chance and found understanding in each other. He reached over and took my hand. "I know this might be crazy, Claire," he whispered, "but I care about you, more than I expected to. You make me feel like I matter." My breath caught in my throat. "I don't know what this is," I said honestly. "But I know you've brought something into my life I didn't know I was missing." We didn't kiss that night. There was no dramatic embrace. Just two hearts quietly acknowledging a connection that defied the odds. In the weeks that followed, our bond deepened. We stayed careful, respectful of the differences in our age and the world around us, but the feelings between us grew undeniable. He became someone I trusted deeply, someone I leaned on. And then, something happened I never expected. My daughter Lily came home one day and saw Ethan helping me repair a cabinet hinge. She immediately sensed the energy between us. Later that evening she asked, "Mom, are you dating the delivery guy?" Froze. I wasn't sure how to answer. "No, not exactly. He's just a friend who's been really kind." Lily gave me a look. She was 14, wise beyond her years. "I like him. He treats you well. I haven't seen you smile this much in a long time." That night, I sat down with Ethan and told him the truth. That what we had scared me. That I didn't know where it could go, or if we were just a passing chapter in each other's lives. He looked into my eyes and said, "Even if it's just a chapter, Claire, I want it to be one worth remembering." And it was. For almost a year, Ethan was part of our lives. He became family. He helped with house repairs, cooked dinner with us, and even helped Lily with her algebra. But he never pushed. He never asked for more than I was ready to give. Eventually, he got accepted into a university across the country. It was a bittersweet goodbye. We sat on the same porch where we first really talked and held hands for a long time. "Thank you," I said, "for showing me that it's never too late to feel again." He smiled. "You changed my life too, Claire. You believed in me." He left, and while we stayed in touch for a while, life moved forward. I started focusing more on myself, rebuilding the parts of me that had lain dormant. I began dating again, slowly, cautiously, but with a heart that was fuller because of Ethan. Some stories aren't about forever. Some are about the moment someone comes into your life and turns it upside down, in the best possible way. Ethan reminded me what it meant to feel alive, to dream again, and to believe that love comes.